What is up, guys? NYKia31 here. Just finished a online league playoff game, and I just wanted to show you guys a couple of replay clips of the way I play defense, why I do it, and some things that go on, both from a very positive standpoint and also what happens when things don't quite go as well. I play base Tampa 2 style defense. I'm predominantly in some form of 2-deep defense the vast majority of the game. I've had games where all I'm in is some style of cover 2 defense. Occasionally mix in 3 and 4 deep depending on how things are going. And basically go from there. I have Calais Campbell, Darnell Dockett there, playing my 3-technique defensive tackle. On the outside shoulder of the guard, inside shoulder of the tackle, and he's the engine that makes that sucker go. Your 3-technique defensive tackle is your Warren Sapp type. He has to be fast enough to shoot through that gap or strong enough to bull through that traffic. And Calais Campbell, the left end, plays off of him and does his fair share of damage as well. My linebackers, Zach Diassi and Holman, very good coverage outside linebackers. A little bit light on the play recognition and awareness side. They're kind of mediocre, but I'll sacrifice that for their zone coverage, and they're also very good tacklers. And Washington is one of those Jonathan Vilma, Brian Urlacher, Jared Laurinaitis type of linebackers. Agile, quick, can cover. Richard Marshall at one corner. Got my former Jet K-Sizzle, Kerry Rhodes, at one safety. Adrian Wilson, Mr. Cardinal, at the other, and Patrick Peterson, aka Baby Revis, at the other corner. That's my base setup. I also have Albert Hainsworth at the other defensive tackle and Sam Acho at defensive end as my speed rusher on the other side. Calais Campbell is barely good enough for that as far as being a speed rusher, but he gets the job done. And as you can see here, I typically do in passing situations is hot route the MLB to a deep blue zone to create that 3-deep. Patrick Peterson is sinking back into his zone. I'm sorry, that's the other dude, Marshall. Diassi is out into his zone. The other linebacker is cheating on that slot receiver, trying to match his pattern as best he can. There is a gap there between him and the deep linebacker, but he locked in on Miles Austin on the other side, and that is right in Zach Diassi's wheelhouse. I like to hot route the wide side or strong side corner into a purple zone to cut off the slot slant out. And Zach Diassi is right there in that throwing lane to pick that ball off. I'm not in love with the pirouette interception, but I do like how the dude was punished for trying to jam that throw in there. Hopefully the read and react system will prevent animation quirks like that. Calais Campbell tries to get upfield, doesn't quite get there. Good swim move by Acho, real aggressive swim move. He had a very good game today. In this game, he had a very strong game, caused a lot of havoc, as did Dockett. Campbell is kind of quiet. And he was in a desperation mode here late in the game, so he forces it and I get the INT there. So good pattern recognition. Everyone drops back to their assigned depth. Washington kind of turns around there, so I have them hot right into a deep zone. Sometimes they do that. Prematurely, I should say. Rhodes goes back to his deep half. and the Tampa 2 does its job. I wish I could show you guys sacks. They don't let you replay sacks. I had 7 sacks this game between Dockett, Acho, and Zach Diassi. When I play the 4-3 under, Diassi goes to that buck linebacker spot where he's either going to drop back in coverage, hold the edge there for those strong side counters and tosses, and also rush the passer. You see there, Dockett had a big day, as did Acho, and Diassi had 2 sacks as well. I'm using the Giants playbook. If you actually want to run this system with the Giants and get those 3 monster defensive linemen on the field, I would recommend putting Tuck on the inside as your 3 technique type of defensive tackle and have JPP and OC on the outside. And just let those bad boys hunt. Let them hunt. Let them do what they do. Got a safety, but I can't show you any of them. Bad EA, bad EA. Let me show all the highlights. And of course he got some completions, obviously. You're not going to stone somebody down completely. There are holes in the cover too. But generally speaking, if I have the pieces in the right spots and I'm playing and calling a good game, it will pay off. We all know the Cowboys have weapons. They have Witten, they have Austin, they have Dez. Romo is a quality quarterback. And to hold him down is not easy, especially with a guy who knows what he's doing, and everyone who plays in these leagues can play. This is a cover 2 zone blitz. You see Hainsworth dropping back as a spy, and the other DN dropping back on rushing 4 in their place. Calais Campbell dropping back into a hook zone. I have Hainsworth kind of playing a spy. The MLB cheats towards Jason Witten initially. And Kerry Rhodes jumps that corner route. I think he wanted to go to Witten initially, but the middle linebacker kind of strafed initially towards Witten before passing him off. And that's a good thing. To quote the great Nick Saban, if you're not pattern matching and cheating the receivers, you're never going to make it. Jam and redirect. And this guy will even run slant outs with his backs out of the backfield. I mean, jeez. Backer is aware enough to recognize it after he initially cheats towards Witten. And I think that was his first read. Then he cheats is not there, but he had opportunity to hit him late right here. But I think he locked onto him first. The movement by the linebacker discouraged him off of that, and he went to the corner, and I have an 85 zone coverage backer, or safety rather, waiting for him. The blitz didn't get through, but it kind of confused him enough, and the bodies around the middle dissuaded him from throwing that ball into the middle of the field. Now there's always the risk when you're going up against a deep ball chucker who likes to purposely underthrow the ball to get that jump ball animation that causes defenders to sometimes get a case of paralysis. There's always that risk. I've found that backing up your secondary against guys like that does help. in this case, good old Rhodes does its job. And that's how I roll. That's primarily how I play D. It's very simple, yet very effective if you optimize your depth chart. And yes, the ratings do affect how well they play in a given situation. Good awareness and play recognition linebackers will be able to recognize routes and cheat towards the receiver and recover a little better than those who do not. Of course, no defense is foolproof. Every zone has a hole, and the classic way to beat too deep is to run more vertical receivers than the defense has deep. One of Tony Dungy's solutions, obviously, was to drop that middle linebacker deep to create a 3 deep, but offensive coordinators are not stupid. What will they do? They'll run 4 deep. It's basic math. If there's 2 deep, you send 3 or 4. If there's 3 deep, you send 4 or 5. You stretch the field horizontally and vertically, and someone has to come open because the math is not in your favor. This is, again, as a cover 2 zone blitz, and I have the MLB in a hook. He's not set to go vertical. And the zone blitz doesn't get there. It's a little late on the pressure. A lot late on the pressure. Didn't get there at all. I got manhandled with Albert Hainsworth, and everyone else was blocked up. And that leaves the free safety in a stressful spot with 2 guys running deep and only 1 of him. So good recognition on his part, good play call, and he won that down. So it's back to the chess game. Mixing in now 3 deep and cover 6 and cover 4. I'm the kind of person that I don't let somebody off the hook. If I see that someone is not attacking my base 2 deep well, or they're having trouble reading it, I'll stay in it. I'll stay in it the entire game if they continue to make mistakes. Show me a football team or football coach that will stop doing something that they see is giving their opponent trouble. You won't find one. But in this case, he got the time, made the read, and forced me to say, okay, now let's put the thinking cap on and let's start playing some chess. Here I'm in 3 deep. You see the bunch formation. You see the high safety in the middle of the field. Darnell Dockett is just a little late. Gives Tony Romo a nice little kiss in the mouth. But Romo, being a pretty good quarterback who takes far too much flack, in my opinion, is able to drill it in there. Kerry Rhodes did the right thing. He initially, once you see him in the middle of the field, cheats toward the side of strength at the snap of the ball, the passing strength. Recognizes the vertical seam. That's your first rule as a single high free safety, is you find that seam or post, and he runs an underneath route into that vacated area, and my linebackers just don't quite close in time to make him pay the price, but he makes the play. So again, sometimes the offense wins, but then we began a game of cat and mouse. When am I in 2 deep? When am I in 3 deep? When am I in a cover 2 zone blitz? When am I in a cover 3 zone blitz? When do I throw a cover 4 changeup in there, or run cover 3 cloud, which is cover 2 hard on one half of the field and a cover 2 and a cover 3 look on the other half? That's when the chess match begins. And so while you'll give up some completions if you're executing right, calling your D properly, you have the right guys on the field at the right time, as you can see here, in the long run it'll pay off. Sure, I will give up a completion here or there for this kind of trade-off. I'll take that any day of the week. And again, this is a good offensive team. A good player and a good quarterback with good weapons. If you don't have the ideal roster, make sure that you're situationally substituting guys that need to be on the field in those must-pass situations. Take out that weak linebacker who can't cover as well. Put in a guy who's a little bit better than that. Like, for example, with the Jets, I need David Harris on the field on first and second down. I need him in those third and intermediate areas in case someone runs a draw, a screen, or I need him to defend the underneath. He's good enough to do that, but in third and greater than 10 or a must-pass situation when I'm up multiple possessions to end the game, David Harris is not in the game. He's on the pine, and in his place is a backup middle linebacker with 88 speed and 77 zone coverage. Good luck. And he's flanked by guys with good zone coverage as well. Just got to back up those safeties to help reduce the chances of that damn jump ball paralysis. And go get them. So hope you guys enjoyed. Talk to y'all later. Peace.